Welcome to the More Than ADHD Podcast, Episode 8, 6 Tips for Getting Better Sleep with ADHD. Hey, how many hours of sleep did you get last night? Be honest. Comment below, let me know. Do you struggle with sleep? How many hours did you get? Today we're going to be covering a topic that a lot of people struggle with who have ADHD and other invisible disabilities, sleep, and how to get better sleep and more of it if you have ADHD. Welcome everyone. My name is Coach Ryan Mayer. I am a neuro-inclusion advocate and a certified ADHD coach, here to be your ADHD coach on this journey of life. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am here in tropical Cleveland, Ohio. The office windows are open. I'm wearing a green polo shirt, my standard best man watch from my brother Eric. I've shaved off my beard, so I'm cleanly shaven as of this morning, a winning smile, and a positive attitude. So let's get into it. My mission here at Ryan Mayer Coaching is to inspire other individuals like me with ADHD or other invisible, non-apparent disabilities to reconnect with your strengths, to discover your full potential, and to navigate through the storms of life that are caused by ADHD and how your brain is wired. So if that's you, I would love to have you come check out our Ryan Mayer Coaching community. It's free to join, or you can book a call with me and my team. We'd love to have you. After years and years of nights of terrible sleep, I realized a lot of that was due to my ADHD. If you're tossing and turning it at night and thinking maybe you have ADHD too, you're not alone. Lots of people struggle with this, and you deserve answers. Maybe you do have ADHD. So go check out our friends at ADHDonline.com, and there you can get the most robust online assessment to get a diagnosis for ADHD. Get those questions answered. You deserve that. You owe that to yourself. And I want to give you a huge discount, $50 off that assessment. So at checkout, all you have to do is put in this code, CoachRyan50, CoachRyan50, for $50 off your assessment at ADHDonline.com. So first, let's talk about why is it that ADHD has such a profound impact on sleep? Well, it all comes down to circadian rhythms. Science shows this, that the way that our brains are wired, it probably has a big impact as to why we can't slow down our racing thoughts. Let's talk about a couple of those pieces. Having those faster than normal brains can be really helpful in some aspects of life, but when you're trying to calm down, that overstimulation, that fast moving brain with racing thoughts, that can be a struggle. And the second, which might seem obvious, is just losing track of time. Because of our time blindness, we might not realize, maybe you get lost in watching a show or scrolling on your phone, or maybe you have a current hyperfocus that you're fixated on, right? And then you realize, whoa, it's 2 a.m. How did this even happen? And a lot of us, myself included, may be struggling with emotional dysregulation. So we have a lot on our minds, a lot of things that we're holding on to that we have to try to process. And a lot of times it's not until everyone else goes to sleep that we can take some time to unpack that, right? Here are some common struggles for those of us who have ADHD when it comes to sleep. The first one is insomnia, and that's trouble both falling asleep and or staying asleep. I know that one of my clients, the medication that she has to take makes it hard for her to stay asleep and fall asleep. She said to me when I was on a call with her last week, until you started talking about it, Coach, I didn't realize that getting 2.5 hours of sleep wasn't normal, but that's a side effect of the medication I take. I am not a sleep scientist, so I'm not going to pick apart all of the different phases of sleep, REM, deep sleep, all of that. But what I will say is our restless minds and our restless bodies definitely have an impact on us not getting that deeper sleep that are enjoyed by our neurotypical counterparts. Have you ever heard someone say, well, I'm just naturally a night owl? It turns out that's actually a thing. If you consider yourself to be a night owl, drop an owl emoji in the comments right now. That might just be the old DSPS. Oh, you don't know about DSPS? Okay, well, I'm so glad you tuned in. Here's what it means. Delayed sleep phase syndrome. What does that mean? It means that you're more awake at night than you are during the day. Your brain has it backwards because of ADHD. It's flip-flopped. So how many times have you been laying there, tossing and turning, and thinking to yourself, just go to sleep, go to sleep. Why can't you go to sleep? Oh, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. I have so many things to do. It's so important. No, all right, I got to go to sleep. I got to sleep. Why can't I fall asleep? Sounds a lot like sleep anxiety. All right, let's say it's time to wake up. Oh, that's the worst feeling, right? When you wake up from a night of not so restful sleep, and now you have to face the world. You have to go through the drudgery of another day with the added challenge of not getting enough sleep. Comment below, let us know, what are the things you struggle with when you don't get enough sleep? So sleep deprivation is basically going to take all of our ADHD challenges, pour gasoline on it, and light it on fire. I can remember so many times throughout my career in corporate where I'm driving to work or trying to drive to work, and I'm literally falling asleep at the wheel. And as I was doing research for the episode, it makes total sense now because according to the statistic, if you are awake for 18 hours or more, that's like driving with a BAC of 0.05. That means there's 5% alcohol in your blood. It's the same as that. No wonder you felt so out of it, and I felt so out of it when I drove on less than ample sleep. So the things that we normally struggle with, focus, attention, impulsivity, yeah, that just goes through the roof when you don't get enough sleep. I don't know about you, but whenever I don't get enough sleep, I can feel it the next day emotionally. What do you mean, Coach Ryan? Let me tell you. I mean, my fuse is a lot shorter. I already struggle with emotional regulation, but it's even more challenging when I don't get good sleep. Yeah, and then here's the kicker. So poor sleep only exaggerates and exacerbates our ADHD symptoms, and then that might cause us to not get good sleep the next night, which would then cause our symptoms to get worse. So it ends up just really being this raunchy cycle of nastiness because we can't get back on track. We deserve to give ourselves the best chance. So let's get some better rest. How do you do that, you might wonder? And I'm going to give you those 6 tips right after I tell you about ADHD Online. If the content I put out in this podcast, the More Than ADHD Podcast, or any of my other social media platforms really hits home for you and feels like it's an autobiography of your life, maybe it's time to check into an ADHD diagnosis. So how do you do that? You go to ADHD Online. I hear this from people all the time that they're having to wait weeks, months, sometimes even years to get an in-person assessment to just get a diagnosis. If you're ready to stop waiting and start getting the answers you deserve, go to ADHDonline.com and at the checkout, just enter Coach Ryan 50. That's Coach Ryan 50 for $50 off. So now we're telling you the tips. How to get better sleep when you have ADHD. Tip number 1 is sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene involves establishing a regular go to sleep and wake up time. That means that those of us who might enjoy sleeping in on weekends, you shouldn't do that because that really throws a monkey wrench in. I know. Also, creating a relaxing routine for your brain to realize, okay, it's time to go to sleep. This involves dimming the lights, maybe playing some soft music, doing some meditation, some stretching, and putting away our screens. I know. Have you ever heard of these blue blockers? Here, I'm going to show the ones that I wear. And I wear these at night, like the last hour before bedtime, and it really does help me to go to sleep. Tip number 2 is adjustments to your environment. You know that feeling when you hit snooze, because I know you hit snooze, and then you lay back down on the pillow and it just feels magical against your face? Like you fall asleep instantly. That's the kind of environment we need to create. You know how I do that and how I recommend you do that? Noise machines, white noise, because I can't hear any dripping faucet. I can't hear crickets outside. I can't hear creaking or anything except other things you can do to help your sleeping environment. Blackout curtains so that you don't have light coming through. A debate that we regularly have here at the Mayer House is the battle of the thermostat. Please, if you haven't commented below, this is your moment because I want to know, what is your thermostat set at? Here is the optimal temperature, 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's the best number to be at according to our research. But turn down the temperature, turn up your sleep quality. And last but not least, take your smartphone. Oh, and move it out of arm's reach. Because my guess is if you put your arm out next to you when you're sleeping, your phone's probably right there, right? The biggest improvement that I saw in my sleep, the best move I ever made was charging my phone across the room, which is more important. Because let's be honest, when it's right next to your head, it's so easy. Ooh, I'm just going to check that. Well, you're going to scroll for a while. And then before you know it, it's 3 a.m. But if you are charging across the room and it makes you have to get out of bed, you're not going to go check it. Tip number 3, medication management. Obviously, I am not a doctor, so check with your provider. What meds are you taking? What time are you taking it at? And is it working for you? So if you're having trouble sleeping, you can talk to your doctor about adjusting your meds. I also sometimes will take melatonin before bed. That helps to get to sleep. Anybody try melatonin? I know that there's different schools of thought on it. It really works for me when I need it, which I usually don't. Tip number 4, behavioral techniques. What does that mean? Let me tell you. You could work with your therapist and do cognitive behavioral thoughts around what strategies could you use to get better sleep. And that cognitive therapy could focus on tips for working on insomnia. Sleep journaling is another thing you could do, whether it's in an app or in a notebook next to your bed, just really developing that routine of when you're going to bed and when you're waking up. Also, I have found having a stack of sticky notes or even a notebook next to your bed, that helps for if I have an idea that I'm afraid I'm going to forget, instead of tossing and turning, I'll just reach over, grab a sticky note, write down whatever it is I don't want to forget, and then I see it in the morning. That is an easy thing you can do. Have you ever heard of the concept of sleep revenge procrastination? That's where once everyone else is falling asleep and you're finally realizing because of time blindness, oh my gosh, the day's almost over and I have so much left that I still need to do. We find this desire that we want to work on all of that stuff that we didn't get completed during the day. It comes from this place of shame where, oh my gosh, I didn't get it done. I don't want to be a failure. Let me try to get this done. Also, there's less distractions. We're not at work anymore. Kids or loved ones are not trying to get in touch with us or distract us. So sometimes sleep revenge procrastination becomes a thing, but we must. Trust me, your morning self is going to thank you for just putting down the phone or putting down whatever you're working on and getting to sleep. Lastly, mindfulness and relaxation, deep breathing, visualization, even listening to guided meditations, all of these things can help. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again to our friends at ADHD Online for their generous partnership for our More Than ADHD podcast. If you are not already subscribed, please make sure that you do that. You like this, you share it with somebody who you know is struggling with sleep. Speaking of meditations, make sure you check out the meditation that I did just for those of us with ADHD. Put it on before you go to sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. I believe in you. You're not broken. You are valuable. You are worthy, and you deserve some sleep.